The Prodigal Son, a journey from pride to restoration. Jesus tells the story of a man who had two sons. The younger son, full of impatience and pride, demanded his share of the inheritance even before his father's death. This act alone was already a sign of rebellion, dishonor, and selfish desire. He wanted to live life on his terms. When the son is far from home, pride leads to emptiness and shame. The young man thought he could find life, happiness, and fulfillment away from his father's presence. Pride made him believe he did not need guidance or boundaries, but in the end, the wealth he carried was wasted and his pride led only to emptiness, shame, and regret. Greed leads to hunger. His desire for pleasure, luxury, and indulgence consumed everything he had. What he thought would bring satisfaction only left him hungrier. His greed ended with him longing to eat even the food of pigs, an image of ultimate desperation and uncleanliness for a Jewish audience. Self-reliance leads to desperation. Trying to fix his life on his own, the son hired himself out as a servant in a foreign land, but all his efforts brought no real hope. Self-reliance apart from the Father can never save us. It only leads us deeper into desperation. When the son comes home, in his brokenness, the son finally remembered his father. He returned, not expecting restoration, but only hoping to be treated as a hired servant. Yet the father's response shocked everyone listening. The robe restored dignity. The father clothed his son with the best robe. This meant the shame of his rebellion was covered and his dignity was restored. No longer a filthy wanderer, he was honored as part of the household again. The ring reclaimed identity. The father placed a ring on his hand, symbolizing authority and belonging. He was not just a servant, he was still a son. His identity as a member of the family was reaffirmed. The sandals redeemed freedom. Sandals were given, for servants often went barefoot. By giving him sandals, the father declared that his son was not a slave but free. He was restored to the full privileges of sonship. The older son, envy, ungratefulness, and self-righteousness. Meanwhile, the older brother grew envious and bitter. Instead of rejoicing, he resented his father's grace. His ungratefulness showed in how he failed to see the blessing of being with his father all along. His self-righteousness blinded him. He thought his obedience made him more deserving of love than his brother. This warns us that even those who stay close outwardly can be far from the Father in their hearts if they are filled with pride, envy, or judgment. The Father, a portrait of God's heart. The true center of this parable is the Father. He initiates love. Even when the Son was far away, the Father was waiting, watching, and ready to run toward him. He restores and delights. He not only welcomed his son back but also celebrated with a feast, showing that heaven rejoices when the lost return. He never gives up. The father reached out to the older son too, patiently inviting him into the joy of restoration. He sends us out. Just as the father longed for both sons to come home, God sends us to bring others back to him. His mission is reconciliation, and he calls us to share it. The parable teaches us that life away from God leads only to pride, emptiness, greed, hunger, and desperation. But when we return, he restores our dignity, reclaims our identity, and redeems our freedom. The Father's love is greater than our failures, and his joy is complete when the lost are found. It also reminds us to guard our hearts from envy and self-righteousness, like the older brother, so that we too can rejoice in the mercy of God. Above all, the story reveals the Father's heart. He never gives up on his children. He is always reaching out, waiting for us to come home, and calling